Salutations. I know it's been a minute, but I'm still watching these events closely. And if I see something important, Lord willing, I'll bring it out to you. And this is one of those times. But I came across an article today. And actually, I got 4 articles here all together. And I end this off with some scriptures. But this first article is from ENS Newswire. And the title of the article is U.S. Pivots from Nuclear Reactor Fuel to Bomb Cores. You can find all this information in the description box, but I'm not going to read the articles. I'm just going to do a summary. Pretty much what it is with this first article, the U.S. Department of Energy shipped some weapons grade plutonium from this site in South Carolina to Nevada. And what the base of this article is that they're going to use that to make nuclear weapons. And so this article came out February the 14th of 2019. But in conjunction with that, to back up this article, which I'll be reading off of this one here, this is from the National Nuclear Security Administration, Department of Energy. And so the title of this article is Joint Statement from Ellen M. Lord and Lisa E. Gordon-Hagerty on the recapitalization of plutonium pit production. Says here, this came out May the 10th of 2018, but like I said, I'm reading this to back up what this article is saying that just came out. Washington, an evolving and uncertain geopolitical landscape calls for the United States to recapitalize its defense plutonium capabilities. The Nuclear Weapons Council, NWC, has certified that the National Nuclear Security Administration, NNSA, recommended alternative for recapitalization of these capabilities is acceptable and represents a resilient and responsive option to meet Department of Defense DoD requirements. To achieve DoD's 80 pits per year requirement by 2030, NNSA's recommended alternative repurposes the mixed oxide fuel fabrication facility at the Savannah River site in South Carolina to produce plutonium pits, while also maximizing pit production activities at Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico. This two-pronged approach, with at least 50 pits per year produced at Savannah River and at least 30 pits per year at Los Alamos, is the best way to manage the cost, schedule, and risk of such vital undertaking. Furthermore, by maintaining Los Alamos as the nation's plutonium center of excellence for research and development, the recommended alternative improves the resiliency, flexibility, and redundancy of our nuclear security enterprise by not relying on a single production site. And then I'll get down here towards the end here. It says plutonium pit production is a priority for both of us, and through the NWC we will regularly coordinate and monitor the progress. So simply put, they building up for nuclear war. And this is an article, it came out by Reuters this week, and the title of it, Putting to U.S., I'm ready for another Cuban Missile-style crisis if. Russian President Vladimir Putin said Russia is militarily ready for a Cuban Missile-style crisis if the United States wanted one, and threatened to place hypersonic nuclear missiles on ships or submarines near U.S. territorial waters. The Cuban Missile Crisis erupted in 1962 when Moscow responded to a U.S. missile deployment in Turkey by sending ballistic missiles to Cuba, sparking a standoff that brought the world to the brink of nuclear war. So that's pretty much it that I'm going to read out of this article. Like I said, I'll leave all this in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. But this is the last article here. And this came out February the 14th. It's from the Washington Post. The title of it is Lockheed Martin to build new facility in Florida, hire 1,800. Lockheed Martin broke ground Tuesday on a new research and development facility in Orlando, Florida. The Bethesda-based defense giant plans to hire 1,800 people to work on new weapon systems for the Pentagon, 500 of whom will staff the Orlando facility. Engineers at the facility will work to develop new weapon systems, including the long-range standoff missile LRSO, a plane-launched nuclear cruise missile. The company is in fierce competition with rivals like Boeing, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman to capture new defense spending as the Trump administration looks to update the U.S. nuclear arsenal. And so I'm going to hit a few scriptures here, but this is just to warn you about what's developing. It's not to, push out fear, but if you are solid with the God of this Holy Bible, you'll be okay. But Zechariah chapter 5, and I'm not going to go through that because I went through that with the Watchman Warning segment. But Zechariah chapter 5 is prophecy about nuclear war in the eastern and western hemispheres of the earth. But I'm going to read this in 2nd Ezra chapter 16, which is out of the King James Version Apocrypha. Verse 15, the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Verse 16, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. So there's no way that a man or a woman with a bow and arrow can shoot an arrow to the ends of the earth. This scripture right here is a prophecy about nuclear missiles. And you can check out Isaiah 55 and 10, because this is all written in God's scriptures, and he said his word will not return to him void. So it has to happen. So on that, let's say seek the Lord while he may be found, and pray without ceasing.